Time for some oil change. This is the first operation every rider should learn. It's easy and with the right tools it shouldn't take more than half an hour. I'm going to show you how to do it in this episode of Rider's Garage. The simplest but probably the most important job you can perform on your bike is the oil change. The engine must get fresh and quality oil at least at the beginning of every new riding season. Your service manual recommends you to change the oil at a specific number of miles, or at least every 2 years. If you have the time and resources, you can do it more often. It won't do any harm. Before I start, I have to make sure I have the right tools. First, I need to lift my bike up on the central stand, but I don't have one, so I'll use the rear stand. I also need an oil drain pan, some gloves, a rag, a funnel, the right key for my oil plug, the oil filter key, some brake cleaner, and the right oil and filter for my bike. I've already warmed up the bike, and now I think it's cold enough to start working. Be careful, leave the engine some time to cool down, otherwise you can end up burning yourself. Make sure everything is clean. Use the rag and some brake cleaner to remove any dirt near the plug or oil filter. Now, with everything ready to go, I'll place the drain pan under the bike and untighten the oil plug. With the oil plug loosened, I can unscrew it by hand. As a tip, keep your elbow up while you untighten, just to make sure you don't drop the bolt in the oil pan. Keep everything as clean as possible so you don't stain yourself or your garage. With my oil out, I can now remove the filter. First, I want to check if I can remove it on my bare hand. Otherwise, I will have to use the oil filter wrench. It's not expensive. You can find one at your local store for less than $10. And it's off. I'll leave it on the pan to drain the oil. Before I install the new one, I want to check again for any remaining debris and clean up the area. Now I want to lubricate with a bit of oil the new oil filter O-ring and then install it by hand. I can tighten it with my bare hand or with a torque wrench. This time I'll try with my bare hand. When it touches the engine, I'll give it another half a turn. Don't over tighten the filter or you end up with some serious damage. And that's enough. Next, I need to put back the drain plug. But first, I will inspect to check if my washer is still in good shape. Looks good. I think I'll use it for this time. Now you don't want to over tighten this guy, or you will destroy your oil pan. Use a torque wrench to maximum 16 foot-pounds or check the right torque for your bike in the service manual. I've done it a few times already, and I will just go a quarter of a turn after I tighten it by hand. This should be enough. With everything back in place, I can get some oil inside. Check the service manual for the right quantity of oil or check the engine covers for any information. If you don't have any, keep a close eye on the dipstick. The funnel is in the right place. Let's start pouring. If you end up with some oil on your exhaust pipes, clean it with some brake cleaner and a rag. With oil inside and the new filter on, I will start my bike and let it idle for a few minutes. After that, I must check again for any leaks and the oil level. And don't forget, it's important to change the oil more often than to use the one with the highest protection rating.